Hey y'all, it's Mia here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is going to be a huge video. We are going to an early premiere of Conjuring 4: The Last Rite. Conjuring is my all-time favorite horror movie franchise. You know it from the Monster Mania vlogs. You know it from all the times I've met the paranormal investigator that worked with the Warrens, Jason Mcleod, in the vlogs. That movie's got me obsessed. I was dying for September 5th, right? Ready for this Friday to watch this movie. However, on my Instagram, and I forgot who posted it. My Instagram knows, like, I go out a lot, look at the vlogs on the channel. So I came across this Instagram story that said if 50 people tap this link, you get a free ticket to the Conjuring 4 movie premiere. And I'm like, what? This is a scam. But I'm like, YOLO, bro. So I hit that link, ends up legit. I get 2 tickets to the premiere and I was like, oh my gosh, this is God. Because this movie already means a lot to me. But what are the chances that I see this Instagram story and I end up going to the premiere? And with that, I'm leading you guys into a story time. So if you want to see the premiere, hop to the description to see the timestamp of when that starts. Or if you have a low attention span, hop to my shorts. I post shorts now, and I'm definitely posting a short that goes along with this adventure. But if you like a good yap session, you're in the place to be. I'm gonna tell you guys about how I got into The Conjuring, how it strengthened my faith in God, and why this movie means a lot to me. So if you're excited, don't forget to like and subscribe. Join the herd. Let's get started. So when I was little, my dad loved horror movies, and he always tried to get me and my siblings to watch horror movies. I did not mess with it. I hated them. You could not catch me dead watching a horror movie. I was petrified. And even my mom was like a huge horror movie fan. Like, I remember on her TV, she'd be watching Saw and Human Centipede. And as a kid, I knew to stay away from them. However, I remember when the first Conjuring movie came out, my mom simply asked me, do you want to see the Conjuring movie? And immediately I said, yeah. And that is crazy because I can't emphasize enough, I was petrified of horror movies. Like, my dad one time dressed as Michael Myers for Halloween. I was losing it. There's even a movie called Ghost Rider, I think, with a skeleton with fire, and we were watching in theaters, and that's not a horror movie, and I'm literally kneeling on the chair facing back, not looking at the screen, crying. Like, anything that was scary just did not mess with. Like, our Halloween decorations were cute, not scary. But yet when my mom asked me this question, I remember I was in like 6th grade, maybe 12 years old, immediately I said yes. And to this day, I'm like, why did I say yes? Of all the times I didn't mess with horror movies, my mom asked me that one question, no hesitation. And this is where, if you didn't know, I believe in God. And my faith didn't get stronger until I watched this movie. And this story blows a lot of people's mind because not many people, religious people, watch horror movies. But I hope my story can show you that God will use anything to get to you, and it's powerful. So I think he was the one who literally made me say yes. Like, something moved me to be like, yeah. Like, I didn't even stutter, I didn't hesitate. I remember at the time, her room was downstairs, we watched it on her iPad, and this movie, guys, petrified. I slept in her room for 3 weeks. I didn't even want to go in my closet because I would think about the thing that jumped on the girl and threw up in her mouth. I didn't want to go to sleep alone because I'm thinking Annabelle's gonna play with my ankles. Like, it was so hard to sleep in my own room, and it made me so scared of the night. However, something beautiful did happen in the result of these movies. You know how in the end credits it shows like the real family that went through this? I remember I sat there with my mom and I'm like, oh my God, like, this is a true story. And then it was like, these like demons, how scary is that? I'm like, they're powerful. But if that exists, can you imagine how powerful God is? And that blew my mind. And I grew up Catholic. I did my Holy Communion, and actually that was, I feel like, the first time I really felt God. I was crying during it. And then I remember when I would go to church, I would always cry, and I would be like, Mom, I don't want to go to church, I'm always crying. And she goes, you're feeling the Holy Spirit. So like, God was always in my life, right? But there had been a majority of like my lifespan beefing with God. Like, I would fight him. Like, we did not have a good relationship because I would blame him for stuff that went bad in my life, blamed him for my trauma. Now, being this version of myself, he doesn't cause it, but he'll use it. But I didn't know that as a kid. I literally was crying and fighting God and couldn't believe that he was always looking out for me and loving me when I went through what I went through. But like, this movie really put into perspective that God exists, because as a kid who loved science, I am not like a see it to believe it type thing, because I will always validate someone's experiences. I don't have to be there to see it to know or empathize with you. And for God, like, I didn't need to see him to believe him. Like, I did know he existed and I felt him as a kid. However, I think God knew I needed solid proof to really strengthen my faith. And I think seeing the real people go through this made me feel like this is physical proof that God is real. Anyway, so it started a hyperfixation. I go on my phone and I'm typing all of these things, like Lorraine's museum tour, Ed Warren talking about demonology. Like, I was obsessed. I was so fascinated. And it wasn't like a fascination, like, you know, some people like this stuff because they dabble in like the supernatural. I am not that person. I love to be educated on it, but I'm not involved in it. From afar, I love my research. I love how it strengthens my faith, but I did it because I was like, oh my God, like, it brought me closer to God knowing all of this stuff exists. Like, it scared me knowing that there's demons, but like my brain couldn't fathom if that exists. Yo, God is like, I can't even comprehend. So I still can't comprehend him. So like, I was fascinated in that it made me love God and believe him even more, not dabbling in that stuff. And that's where it brings me to the legends, Ed and Lorraine Warren. So as a kid, I didn't have many role models in life, right? I did like Selena Gomez. I wasn't a huge celebrity kid, but I was like very judgmental. So for example, if Selena Gomez did something that didn't align with my morals and values, I'm like, wow, she can't be my role model anymore. I don't like her, which is crazy. I love that as a kid, that I had such high standards for who I follow. I don't know who taught me that. But when I got into The Conjuring, and sadly Ed, you know, passed away, Lorraine was still alive at this time, and I would watch videos about her talking and her experiences. And I feel like Lorraine talking about clairvoyance, medium, psychic, she opened my mind to be like, people are born with gifts. You either use them for bad or use them for good. And I don't think, in my opinion, that seeking those people with gifts is going to send you to hell, or God's gonna be mad at you. Because like I said previously, God will use things that are around you to strengthen your faith and follow him. So I think Lorraine really hit me in my heart, because I'm like, wow, like, she is a clairvoyant, but she's using Jesus Christ walking into these houses, the power of God, to help people. And also something about Lorraine that just really drew me to her, and sometimes like when I watch videos of her, I want to cry. I don't know what that is, but I think I looked up to her bravery, because this woman is going into houses with demons and she's strong and courageous. And that's something I pray for every day, because I was not the bravest kid, and now I'm starting to have that courage. But it's scary, especially when you didn't grow up being as courageous. So just that woman being so strong and courageous, fighting demons, I'm like, if she could do that, I could do any of my everyday things, because that is crazy what she does every day. And the way her faith is just so strong, like, she didn't even look at the Annabelle doll. She didn't even want to give a validation of power. Like, the way Vera portrayed her too in the movies, just, it was so beautiful, and it really did inspire me. She actually passed away when I was in high school, and my friend told me, because he knew I loved the Conjuring universe, and it took everything in me not to cry. Like, it felt like it felt like he told me that God forbid, one of my relatives died. Like, I literally went home and I cried. Like, that hurt so bad. And she died in the best way, because it was peaceful in her sleep, as she had deserved, because she needed a good sleep after fighting them demons. And then that brings me to Jason Mcleod. You guys witnessed this moment, which I'm so thankful I got it on camera. Contropolis. I hear, as I'm walking this convention, as I usually do, convention vlogs are my thing, I hear someone saying, yeah, I worked with Lorraine Warren. And I said, no way. I stopped at Jason Mcleod's booth and I talked to him for like an hour. He showed voice memos, he showed pictures. I was obsessed with his stories, and I remember that summer that I read his books. This one's a Connecticut Family's Nightmare, and this one is The Nightmare Returns. It's the same family, one going through like a typical demonic haunted house, and demonic retribution afterwards, like how they got back at them. And Jason is a paranormal investigator who had worked with Ed and Lorraine Warren. And Ed and Lorraine are dead. There's so many things I would love to talk to them about, but I feel like Jason is a great outlet for me to get my answers and ask him things, because he's still alive and he's worked with them. And reading these books, not only does it talk about this family that has been through what they've been through, and you can actually look up the real locations as it's happening, the back of the book shows you how you can protect yourself, what they did in the case wrong that didn't protect these families. And it talks about, if you are a scientific person and don't believe in God or ghosts, he talks about the quantum physics, the metaphysical planes that address ghosts and spiritual stuff. So he's also a very progressive, like, Christian. He talks about frequencies and energies and crystals, and his whole thing is He wants to advocate for the youth to stop playing with Ouija boards. So this book is supposed to really show you that, and this book is basically following the family after the effects of this first case. They are powerful. When I read them, I remember crying after I finished. Like, I truly believe like God used that Conjuring movie. He goes, let me grab her, she loves physical proof, and let me keep her with these books and strengthen her faith even more, because I'm such a book girly. And he's super powerful. He's also very honest and vulnerable. We've had a lot of conversations about how we don't support Tony Spera and Dan Rivera going on tour with the Annabelle doll. I also would love to know like Lorraine and Ed's daughter Judy, like how she feels about this. But there's now conventions called Paracon where they're letting these artifacts out in the museum, which I do not support. Educate yourself on these, like get fascinated, like research this stuff. But why would you ever want to have your energy in the same room as that? That is natural selection. Why would you do that? Like, there's one thing being strong and courageous, and also just being careless, reckless. Jason's intentions, I feel like in my opinion, are more closely related to Ed and Lorraine Warren, only because Lorraine was on set for the Conjuring movie and the purpose was to educate. That's why they bumped it down to PG-13 so more kids could even see this. And that's the point of his books. However, I feel like Dan Rivera, rest in peace too, and Tony Spera, to me it sounds like they allegedly just want money, because there's one thing, okay, you can educate the public, like use your videos, use your website. There's another, putting people at risk, standing face to face with these items. Lorraine said, and I can't find this interview anywhere, please find it for me. She said when she passes, she wants everything in that basement to be sent to the Vatican Church in Italy. Why didn't that happen?
My dream, after I pass, that they are all going to the Vatican.
I feel like she's rolling in her grave right now, because for the next 5 years, they have given the occult museum to a comedian. A comedian, not even like an intern paranormal investigator or someone with expertise in this field. Like a comedian named Matt Rife has ownership of the occult museum. The one who should be owning that is Jason Mcleod himself, which I'm sure he doesn't even want to do that. I'm sure he would send it all to the Vatican, because why would you keep that stuff or have it open to the public in the first place, which Ed and Lorraine did have it open to the public too, so maybe they would support this. We don't know. It's scary. The books and the movie are all the proof I need. I don't even need to see it in person. God built the faith, and it's a strong foundation. So yes, the Warrens have had a huge influence on me spiritually. Like, they were my spiritual role models. Still, I do want to address on here, I cannot ignore, and I'm not oblivious to, the allegations by Judith Penney. She said she was 15 when she allegedly became involved with Ed Warren. And I wanted to bring that up because, of course, always believe the victim, and of course do research for yourself. I have seen documentaries too that debunk a lot of the things that Ed and Lorraine did in these houses. Allegedly in some houses they weren't as involved as the movies make them to be. There's allegations also that say Ed has told his book writers to make the books more scary, even if it's not factual. So this goes to say that yes, like, they are my role models and they've strengthened my faith in God. However, it's also important to look out for who you're looking up to, because they're not perfect, they're humans. But not everything is what it seems. Not everyone is who they say they are. And you definitely need to use your research and discernment to see, are the people you're looking up to actually really good people? And that's what leads me to now, I don't have no role models on earth. God is the only one I look up to, and I hope that one day, you know, we get to a point where we all stop idolizing the things and the people down here and look up to the one up there. But yes, I also recognize that both Ed and Lorraine have passed and they're not here to defend themselves. So until we could yap to them in heaven, hopefully, we don't have many answers, sadly. So I'm bringing this up so you can do some research on Judith Penney, you can do research on their cases, and I recommend everyone to watch the movie The Devil on Trial. It's on Netflix. It's about the true people from The Devil Made Me Do It Conjuring movie, the third one, and their experiences with Ed and Lorraine and that whole case. I think it's really important to hear their story coming from them. And although I am a spiritual, supernatural believer, I'm also logical too. And there are some holes in that story that definitely need to be brought to light and exposed. So definitely recommend watching that. So in conclusion, I think my faith in God and my relationship with him was awful, rocky, but I think he used this movie to really strengthen my faith in him and unconditionally, like, believe in him. Like, after that movie, I never doubted God, set in stone that he existed. And once I claimed that, I feel like I got more signs and like his spiritual presence over me. And also, if say all of these movies based on true stories never happen, or it could have been something else other than demons or ghosts, that used to upset me, because I'm like, but that was the proof I needed that God existed. Now with my own supernatural experiences and like God's hand really in my life, I don't need any proof. I've felt it, I've seen it myself, and no movie can change that. And I think that really shows where my faith is now. Like, it cannot be broken or shaken or shattered. And I think what's so beautiful is, if you saw my Sunday day in the life vlog, I talked about like the spiritual journey I've been going through. Like, I was baptized as a Catholic, but I recently just got baptized. I've been on fire with the Lord. It's been crazy. What are the chances that this is the year this movie comes out? In the same time period, I'm going through like a spiritual revival, renewal. And I remember the last time the Conjuring movie came out, Spirit Untamed also was out in theaters, and I grew up watching Spirit to Down in the Summer. That was a huge movie, and watching Spirit again in theaters and Conjuring, like two franchises that really have shaped my personality, out in theaters at the same time, felt like a sign in itself. And now, what are the chances that Conjuring's coming out? And on my birthday, this is the first time I'm saying this, September 30th, I'm meeting the Royal Spirit the Horse in Lompoc, California. Can't tell me God ain't real. There's synchronicities. Also, I've learned synchronicities from Jason's books. I used to get so many signs, and I think it was God trying to reach out to me as a kid, but I was so mad at him that they weren't like going through. But then like more stuff kept happening. I'm like, coincidences don't exist. So I used to call them supernatural coincidences. I think I've said that in a few of my videos. I'm like, supernatural coincidence, like this is crazy that this happened. And Jason named it, and it was synchronicity. And I was like, yes, this is what I've been experiencing all my life. Like, I would get signs, I didn't know what they meant. I'm like, well, there's no shot that this is a coincidence. Like, there's no way. And he put into terms for me. So it's all just so powerful, and I love God, bro. And now, because of Jason Mcleod, like, I used to watch these movies scared, but he actually taught me you can't walk into these movies like fearful, like that your energy is not going to be okay. So now when I watch these movies, like, I'm not scared. And that's so powerful. Like, when I watch these movies, I'm coming to the theater, I may jump at a jump scare, because shoot, like, I'm not immune to that. But my mindset when I'm watching this movie is like, yo, I'm about to see the power of God. Like, this movie's just showing me another battle that he won, and I don't go into them scared anymore. And Annabelle Creation was the first horror movie I ever saw in theaters. Like, Annabelle on a big screen, never would have done that before. And now Conjuring actually broadened my horror movie love. Like, now I love horror movies, but I have taste, like class. I only watch ones with like supernatural horror themes. I don't do gore. I don't care for serial killers like Michael Jackson, Michael Myers, Jason, all of them. I don't care for them. I'm drawn to the ones about like ghosts and possessions and all that. So now that my yap session is done, I'll show you what I'm bringing with me to the Conjuring. We've got little Jesus. My Bible is bookmarked at Psalm 23. Very powerful prayer. I actually learned that from Jason Mcleod, and I say it every single day, and it's been my favorite Bible verse even before I read the Bible. And Psalm 23, and I'm 23 years old, and this is the year I've had the most spiritual encounters before. So 23 has been a very powerful year to me, and what are the chances that now my favorite Bible verse is Psalm 23? Definitely linked. Synchronicity. And also in my pocket we've got my rosary that's actually blessed, and it's purple. Oh my gosh, I feel like my purple hair this whole year being 23 and summer, ever since dyeing my hair purple has symbolized healing for me. There's a lot of things I've healed from in such a short period of time that not even has been done when I've been in therapy, which I still am. I love it, but purple is definitely my color of this season in my life. And before we go, we'll pick a Bible verse. So I am feeling really happy. I'm so excited. I just let it call to me. Oh, this one is, ooh, okay. Taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who takes refuge in him. Psalm 34. So I hope that this little testimony, this isn't even my full testimony, bro. This is, I feel like now my life is just one big testimony that God is real, but this specific story is really what concreted my faith in God. And my YouTube channel isn't just for vlogging, it's sharing parts of me, and my intention is that inspires someone. And if you're mad at God, like, you're not alone. I get it. So I hope like this made a crooked path straight, and hopefully gives you some guidance or direction. I don't know, but I felt the need to share it, and I hope that it impacts whoever's watching. Let me know if it does. We are on our way, clutching our rosary, praying Psalm 23, and say it with me: I rebuke the devil in the name of Jesus Christ. No enemy can hold me down, because there's nobody in the grave now. Let's go. Yo! Oh my god, I hope we meet Vera and Patrick. Yo, you ready? Oh my god, guys, we're in the theater. We have... Yo, we went beyond horse girl events. We're not going to movie premieres. Who are you?
I'm famous. Y'all already know who I am. Do I really have to elaborate?
Yes. Let's go. I forgot to show you guys the fit, bro. Repping Ed and Lorraine, the legends. And also on the back, we have their tombstone. Rest in peace. And a cute skirt. And a belt. And some boots. Oh, outfit. Oh.
Yes. You got posters and credit cards here for you to take.
Oh my god. What is this? Oh my god, this is St. Michael the Archangel.
Get one.
We're about to get our seating. I'm hyped. Guys, I scanned the QR code. What does this even mean? I'll follow. Comment down below what your favorite Conjuring movie is. Mine is the first one, I think because it started my obsession, and also it scared the crap out of me. We binge watched the Conjuring movies.
Oh yeah, we definitely did. But what's the second one? What's the other one called?
You did like the second one. Or what was your favorite part about the second one? The one with the girl with the voice?
When she was like in the air. Let me redo that. When she like floated in the air.
Oh, the picture of her jumping from the bed. The trailer to this one, there's like an old woman that shows up, and I'm scared for that jump scare.
It actually looks good though.
I know, I'm so excited.
I don't know what's going on, but there was no priest here.
Yeah, I saw on someone's that they gave out.
I got a motherfucking card with no priest.
Where is the holy water and the priest?
Right.
I saw a TikTok that I had that. Oh wait, should we pray?
I was gonna say that when we was in the car.
Oh, let's do it.
Do I have to close my eyes? I don't like closing my eyes.
No, I guess so. If you don't want to look at the camera. Alright, ready? We're gonna pray. I actually love this prayer. My mom used to make me pray it all the time. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Your protection against the malice and snare of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do you, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the divine power thrust into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about the world, seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. I literally have my rosary in here. It's actually blessed, guys.
Lorraine
We're in
Warren.
the home of Janet and Jack Smurl. Family has experienced
Yo, the nun is here.
all the way down.
Oh, it's Memory of Dan Rivera. The film is based on actual events. Dialogue in the film created for the purpose of dramatization. Sorry. The music as we walk out. I definitely was not prepared. What is that? Wake up. She actually fell asleep. Thoughts?
It was probably the best one.
Yeah, dude. Rock my
I did
world.
fall asleep. And I did miss like a couple of jump scares. But I only fell asleep for like 10 minutes. Can
Dude.
I get a wiener dog or a pretzel?
That was so good. I literally was crying. Like,
I look over and I'm like, is she crying?
Judy walked the aisle for her wedding,
There.
and all of the families that they helped were in the church audience of the wedding. Bawled my eyes out. And then, oh my god, the beginning scene where Judy was a stillbirth, like, oh my god, so many emotional scenes, but also just such a beautiful movie. I think it just makes me sad that Conjuring's over. Where I was spiritually with God at the first Conjuring movie, to the woman he's made me now, like, oh my gosh, like God's plan is nothing like we expect, because I had no clue that I'd be at a Conjuring premiere too, in the mental and spiritual state that I am now. Like, it's beautiful. One day, I would just love to meet Vera and Patrick and ask them what their experiences were with Lorraine, because she was on the set of the first Conjuring. Like, what do they know about her and her story? And I loved that in the end credits, it mentioned, like, even though Ed and Lorraine were controversial, which they were, what they did still set a precedent for paranormal investigation exposure, and that's pretty powerful. Like, that's still a legacy that they left behind. However, one of the downsides today was, like, I had tickets for a screening, which I knew that, but when I came in, they directed me upstairs, and there was an influencer party, and we were not allowed to go because I had a screening pass. I need to find a way to become an influencer for these premieres, because I would love to. I'm actually not as scared to sleep alone tonight, because the power of God, bro. My poster got crumpled. I'm not actually gonna hang it anywhere. I'm not like a hanging pictures on wall type person. But I do want to unroll my poster, bro. She got beat up, but let's just take a good look. Dude, this thing is like massive. But it has our two icons and it says the case that ended it all. And the back has the same thing. So I am not a movie review channel. I have very low standards for movies. You can put me in front of anything and I'd low-key be impressed. Like, I'm an optimist. I just love everything. And I'm gonna review this movie with my biases. And I'm a huge Conjuring fan, of course. So it's gonna be a lot of positive opinions. So this is a very chill movie review. Just my first impressions of what I thought. For me, it was a 10 out of 10. I think it perfectly did a full circle, pretty bow, wrapped up, perfect closure to such a beautiful franchise. I knew this movie was gonna be good during the beginning. I was already crying with the stillbirth scene and her praying to God to bring her baby back to life when Judy was born. That just, oh my God, I was in tears. It was so beautiful. And I think the way they began with the birth of Judy and ended it with handing the keys to Tony Spera, like, perfect. I loved it. It was so like organized with the pacing of the movie, in my opinion. And I also kind of like that it covered the Smurl case that the Lorraines dealt with, but it also had a mix of their personal lives, because this was the final movie. And The Conjuring isn't just about the cases, it's about the couple running these cases. It's nice that they actually showed us like a little bit of personal, but a little bit of the haunted and scares that we love to see. I know that these movies are like based on a true story, but there's some dramatization. But I feel like there was a lot that I was confused on. Like, Judy Warren was born in 1946, and I believe in the movie they had in 1964. I'm curious as to why they didn't stick to like timeline, and it actually had me wondering as I was watching the movie how much of this actually happened, because there is a lot of research that shows that the movies are dramatizations, and Lorraine were not always truthful in their books and their talks about their cases. So it sucks that now with my mindset of the Warrens, it kind of conflicted with my way of watching, because I was like, how much of this is true? When in reality, when I was watching all the movies back then, I was like, oh my God, this really happened. However, though, I still believe like the devil and the power of God, and we may not know how they showed up in that Smurl case, but I do believe that they're real. And is the Smurl case the last case that they did, or is that just for the movie? Because I believe it was like 1981 when the Devil Made Me Do It case happened, but correct me if I'm wrong. So the timeline kind of confused me, like the real life timeline versus the movie, and now it makes me wonder actually what was Ed and Lorraine's last case. Like, was it when Ed passed that Lorraine was like, I can't do this anymore? Let me know in the comments down below. The one thing I kept thinking about though was Judy. Like, if she has some of the gift that Lorraine has, like, what do you do as a clairvoyant, a psychic, a medium if you don't want the gift that you have? Because I don't believe everything's demonic. I mean, I'm sure some people do use those gifts for bad, but I believe God gives us gifts, and if you have that gift and you don't want it, what do you do with it? Because like Judy, for example, to this day, she doesn't want anything to do with the artifacts or the occult museum, and I don't blame her. I feel like if I had a gift, I don't think I would want to dabble in all of that. Like, it's great to watch and educate, and it strengthens my faith in God. Speaking of, oh my gosh, he's hiding in my necklace. Gotta show him. But can you suppress a gift long enough till it disappears, or is Judy still suffering? I kept wondering that, because I can't imagine how painful it is to live your life having a gift that you don't want. Also, side comment, because Lorraine's freaking chickens in the house during the barbecue, I was cracking up, because she did have a chicken coop on the side of like her house, and the way they're just wandering around the living room, I love that. I'm a massive animal lover, and I love that about Lorraine. Like, yes, bro, the chickens are gonna wander my house. You walk around them. This is their home. I would like to know if the priest in the movie is someone who exists in real life, and if he actually died the way he did in the movie, because that broke my heart. Because what does it mean holding a cross and praying and having a strong faith like him, and a demonic power killing that person? Like, then where is the power of God in that moment? Like, how can a demonic force be more powerful than God? And like, I sit with that, and I'm glad I'm sitting. You should sit in the discomfort, but like, it makes me uncomfortable. But I'm like, is that fictional? Does that actually happen? And that makes my faith like waver, because I'm like, are there situations where something so bad and evil and negative can overcome the good? Optimistically, I would like to say no, but Conjuring movie had me thinking different. But that scene had my jaw on the floor. Like, it didn't even hit me when the vacuum cord was moving that he was gonna do what he did, and my heart just broke. The scene that scared me the most was when Dawn was throwing up the glass. Disgusting. But like, my biggest jump scare was the freaking granny when the little doll Susie's crawling on the floor, and like, she appears, her face. Yo, I'm a jump person, but I'm not really a scream person in theaters. Me and Savannah literally screamed, bro. And I was like, I know this is coming up. I saw the trailer, like, there's a jump scare that's gonna happen. But I'm here anticipating when it's gonna happen, and I freaking screamed. It was so funny, bro. That had me like fly out, bro. I was so scared. And some of my favorite moments is just Ed and Lorraine, bro. Vera and Patrick, their chemistry, bro, like they are so good at playing Ed and Lorraine Warren. And it's like, I would have liked for the real Ed and Lorraine Warren to, you know, be like this couple that we see on the screen, and it sucks that that may not have been how it really was, but I'm glad that we get to see such a positive couple and a healthy marriage in a movie like The Conjuring. It was so cute when Lorraine was talking about like her future life with Ed, and I was like, but Ed's gonna die, you don't even know. Which goes back to the Nun movie and how her biggest fear was losing Ed. But I just love their dynamic. Like, get a Grammy, y'all, too, because you killed it. It also makes me want a boyfriend simply for Halloween so we could be Ed and Lorraine Warren. Like, that's it. I would love to be Lorraine, but I need an Ed. Like, I might as well dress up my dog, because that's like a bucket list Halloween costume I would love to do. And her outfits, Lorraine eats, bro. I also loved how long the movie was. Like, I was sitting there and I'm like, wow, this movie's long, but not in a bad way. Like, I was truly enjoying it. Like, I really practiced being in the moment. I'm like, this is my last time watching Conjuring, like, in theaters. And it was making me sad, but it just, I felt so present, and I loved how long it was because I didn't want it to end. And I think the way it ended was so beautiful, bro. Judy, when she walked down the aisle and every family that they've helped in the previous movies was in the audience, I started bawling my eyes out, crying. It was so beautiful. Like, oh my god, I could cry talking about it now. Like, all the families that they've ever helped and how grateful they must have felt having them there. I'm talking about the movie. In real life situations, obviously different, but like, emotionally attached to the characters in the previous movies, seeing them there just made me so happy. And it was so nostalgic because Conjuring has been such a powerful movie in my life, and I'm just so grateful for it. And every single actor that made those movies amazing, and I'm so glad that they appeared at that wedding scene. And also Ed like tossing Tony the keys, like that's a perfect ending, because for anyone new to the Conjuring series and they want to know what happened, they can go see what Tony's doing because he's the one running it. Which makes me sad because there's actually a grandchild of the Warrens that spoke up, insert here, about his opinions of how the museum is being ran. And I found the clip of Lorraine saying, I want my stuff sent to the Vatican Church in Italy. And now we have a comedian hosting sleepovers at the occult museum. And it makes me sad because Lorraine's dream didn't come true. And it kind of goes into the message of the movie. Like, this stuff is serious. It's not a spectacle. And I don't think this stuff is funny for entertainment. I'm fascinated by it, but you would not catch me dead going to a haunted house willingly and vlogging and talking about it. Like, we need to respect the living and we need to respect the dead. And in my opinion, I feel like if the Warrens were alive today, they would not be happy. But I didn't know them. But I hope they're watching over them, the ones who are running this museum now. And may God protect us, the public, from the energies that we're suddenly interacting with, because we want to make this all public. Also, a huge shout out to the person who edited like the end credit scene, because they actually acknowledged that Ed and Lorraine were controversial, which I love that. Validating a lot of people who probably suffered at the hands of them. But it also acknowledged that they may have been controversial, but we can't deny the impact that they've had on the paranormal community. And now, like, if you even look at TikTok, there's paranormal investigators and clairvoyants and mediums and psychics willing to help people. Like, their exposure to a lot of those cases has had a long-standing impact to this day. So I think that's what I mean when I look up to Ed and Lorraine, and not them as people, but them as what they've done for the community of faith and helping people deal with these supernatural forces. And I love that it just acknowledged that. It didn't like shove under the rug that they were these like angelic people, that they were controversial. But two things can be true at the same time. And also at the end, they had in memory of Dan Rivera, just like they did for Lorraine at the Annabelle Comes Home movie. So I like that too. Anyway, those are just my quick thoughts and opinions about The Conjuring. I loved it so much, and I'm so devastated that it's over. Allegedly, there's gonna be a TV show. I will be binging. You won't see me, bro. I won't be posting. I'll be gone in my bed watching this new show. But anyway, rest in peace to Ed and Lorraine Warren, and Dan Rivera, who actually recently passed away. He was part of Tony's team who brought Annabelle on tour. But I'm so grateful what this franchise has done for my faith. And if it weren't for these movies, my faith wouldn't be as strong as it is today. Like, this movie reached little Mia, and I will forever be thankful for that. And now, I'm gonna go see it again with my mom, because she's the one who actually introduced me to The Conjuring and got me into it. So that's gonna be a cute full circle moment. And I'm going to pray for the nespr team and you guys who want to be messing around with all this. You're crazy. But I hope you guys get a chance to watch The Conjuring in theaters. I really hope you get to witness that before it leaves the theaters. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and leave comments everywhere. Say bye, Kingsley. Have a blessed day. Also, whoever was it that decided that the Conjuring movie needed a dog being hurt in the movie, you're done.